Okay, everybody, thank you for rejoining again in episode 7 of the Top Dogs Ballyhonus Fantasy Football League. Thank you, Aidan, the star man, for joining.
No worries, Vinny. Good to be here.
Thank you, Mark, the Oracle Phillips, for joining.
Thank you, Vinny. We've gone global.
And thank you, Pavlo from Ukraine, for joining.
Yes, Vinny.
Thank you for invitation, Vince.
Pavlo, you are our Mr. Chelsea. And what we were thinking is Aidan was suggesting, what's the story with Chelsea? We're talking about Tammy Abraham, Mason Mount, Hudson Odoi, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Tomasi, all these amazing Chelsea players, and they're not going to get a look in this season. What are we going to do?
What will Chelsea do this season?
Yeah, they have Kai Havertz, they've got Timo Werner, you know, they've got an amazing players.
I think that this season we don't see it from Chelsea maybe first or second place, because I think they must play together with this squad, but the next season can be exactly champion season for Chelsea.
So basically, this is like an exchange season to the youth and the good signings to coming in. With Ziyech, we haven't seen much of Ziyech. Ziyech is injured. I heard he's an amazing player.
Yes, he's an amazing player, but I think that he's amazing playing in Ajax. But it will be so interesting looking at Ziyech at this Lampard Chelsea. It's a different team from Ajax, and I don't know how Hakim will looking at this playing formation. I think.
Well, Aidan,
I think that England FPL is so hard championship for foreigners, because not every player can play in England.
Of course, it's more physical and it's more intense. Yeah. Like, it's different to Italian football. Italian football, tick-a-tap, tick-a-tap, tick-a-tap. But because it's so hot in Italy as well, the Premier League is 100 miles an hour. Mark and Aidan are two resident top dogs. Have you any sort of questions about Chelsea? Should we get any Chelsea players in our team? I've done a wild card for this week. You know,
can we wild card, Vinny?
I have, but I want, like, Pavlo is our expert Chelsea. Pavlo, about Chelsea.
Sorry, Vinny. I think maybe wait until 9 or 10 games into the season when Pulisic is back from injury, Ziyech is back, Havertz has a few games, and they have the whole squad back together playing. And hopefully then we'll see Chelsea scoring goals and playing some good football.
I think by Christmas you're going to have to have 2 Chelsea midfielders by Christmas.
Wow, Pulisic will be one. Pavlo, what do you think about the Chelsea? Pavlo, who would you have in the Chelsea in your Chelsea team if you were picking right now? Timo Werner or Pulisic is in?
Look, I think it's depend of formation, because the first game in season against Brighton, Chelsea played 4-2-2-2, but against Liverpool they play 4-3-3, and it's so depend of players who plays, and I think that till New Year, till Christmas, Timo Werner will be exactly in the first 11.
Nice one. And he will continue to take penalties for Chelsea, yeah?
Yes.
Right, boys.
It will be so interesting season, I think, because we have a lot different variants how to play, and a lot really professional players, and I think for Lampard it's a big task to connect them together. We see different players, small and smart, and physical and power players, and Lampard must think twice before say about first 11 or substitutions.
Okay, let's talk a little bit more about I'm going to go into my fantasy football team. Now, Pavlo, I know that you may not have a fantasy football team. Basically, the rules are you pick 15 players in the English Premier League, and you have 100 million to spend on. And you pick your Salahs, your Manes, or your Timo Werners, or your Harry Kanes, or your Sons. But the problem is you only have 15. So you have 11 players, but you've got 4 on the bench. And over every week, you've got, a choice to make depending on your fixtures of your players, who you think's going to get a hat trick, who you think's going to keep a clean sheet. So this is the reason why we've got you on tonight, is just to get your experience about who you really fancy about Chelsea or about Arsenal or about United. For me, until December comes, you have a wild card where you can pick any players you want, and then you get another wild card for after December. So I've played my wild card now because basically the Man City players have come into the game. They didn't play last week, or 2 weeks ago. So I've been waiting for City. So guys, I'll just I'll show what I've been doing here. I know William played his wild card last week, but guys, Mark and Aidan, I've gone with Martinez. Dunn is an Irish guy from Drogheda. I've gone with him because he kept. I think he scored a goal as well for Villa.
I like the look of him. That's a good shout. What price is he? Is he 4 million?
Yeah, 4 million. No,
yeah,
he didn't.
He's a bargain.
Guys,
He didn't
like
score a
Dunn,
goal.
guys,
He didn't score a goal. He kept a clean sheet, but Konsa scored a goal. Lamptey it could be anything for Brighton. He looks really good attacking points. Son,
Dunn is Burnley. Dunn is Burnley, isn't he?
Yeah, Burnley. Yeah. Obviously, I got De Bruyne in 11.5 before he went 11.6. I did my wild card last Sunday.
Did you have to? Oh, yeah, go on.
I had Son before he scored the 4, and then when I played my wild card, I got rid of Son. But obviously, I have until now and next Saturday to play the wild card, so I could get him in for nothing. And while I did that, he's gone back up to 9. So I've been really lucky here. Also on my sub bench, I've got Timothy Castagna, as William would say. 5.5 million. He's gone up to 5.6. I like Justin. All these guys, Jimenez, Ings, Calvert-Lewin, they've all got lovely fixtures coming up in the next 6-7 game weeks. So I think I can get to November with these guys. Now, obviously, I want to have a little bit of money in the bank just in case I get a Salah or a Mane in. I like Mane because he's only owned by 10%. Salah's owned by 30-40%. What do you think, boys?
Vinny,
I like it a lot.
I really like that team. I love that you have Castagna in. I know you can't play him this week because he's not going to keep a clean sheet.
Yeah.
But that is a lovely team. And Guiza, maybe he might start. He got an assist there last game week. Justin is doing very well. I love the Leicester defence. That's a really nice team. I'm a massive Sterling fan. massive Sterling fan, so I think he'll do really well. He's going to be a differential. Like, what percentage owns Sterling? It's very low.
5.5%.
Wow.
Wow. Exactly. And if you look at most
Vinny,
of my team,
I like the look of that team a lot.
I have a lot of differentials. I know that Jimenez is 20% there. And look, if you look at Danny Ings' games, like Danny Ings is very next to Harry Kane, in the sort of guy. Burnley, West Brom, okay, Chelsea, okay, Pavlo, Southampton might not get much against Chelsea, but look at Everton, Villa, Newcastle, Wolves, even United, Southampton could do something against.
Means I've never played the fantasy league before, and now I'm trying to understand what it is. What do you want from me? Because I don't understand what you say.
No, I'm just saying the way fantasy works is that you get guys in your team that are playing weaker teams, that they can get 2 or 3 goals or keep a clean sheet. Because
you can change any player for any, yes?
Yeah, what happens in fantasy is you've got 15 players, yeah? You pick 15 and you have 100 million to spend. And so at any one time, you've got 4 guys on the bench, a goalkeeper, and you've got a defender, or a midfielder, or a striker. So you can substitute for the Saturday who you think will keep a clean sheet or who will score more goals. So it's really interesting. That's why I got you involved, Pavlo, because you're a football guy.
I think that it's not popular in Ukraine, and I don't know about it. I hear a few words, but I don't know guys who play it in Ukraine. But I think that it's really interesting.
Yeah. Do you like that team, Pavlo? Do you like Vinny's team there that's on the screen?
For honest, I don't know a lot of players from this team, because I like Chelsea, but I don't see any matches, for example, with Wolves or West Ham or another underdogs teams.
Hey, I totally understand that but James Rodriguez,
I know him.
unbelievable. Like, seriously, everybody's heard of Rodriguez. And if you look at Everton's fixtures, look at the state of that. Crystal Palace, Brighton, only Liverpool, and they're at home as well. They could beat Liverpool. Southampton, Newcastle, Everton, and Calvert-Lewin. Seriously, it's a no-brainer, Everton players. Aidan and Markey, discuss. Have you got any Everton players in your team?
Will Everton make Champions League this year?
I think they're top 6.
What do you think?
They're top 6, Everton, in fact. I'm convinced.
Not top 4.
No, I don't think even.
Yeah, they're not.
I don't think.
They're 8th.
I don't think Tottenham are top 4 either. I think they could be 5th or 4th. But I'm going for 4th.
I think.
One thing I'd like to talk about, Vinny, is you've Son captain. I'm considering putting Son captain. I've Salah captain at the moment. He's after scoring 4 goals. He's the obvious candidate. But I found from captaining Son last year that after a big rout, he seems to go, after a big haul, we'll say, he seems to go on a little bit of a drought. So I'm worried that he could maybe not do anything this week against Newcastle. Well,
yeah, that's granted, because we're at home and Newcastle can shut the shop up at home. What the reason why I picked this team is if you look at Raul Jimenez's games: West Ham, Fulham, Leeds, Newcastle, Crystal Palace. That's the reason why everybody's gone in with Saiss. That's why he's gone from 5 million to 5.1. Anything with Patricio, the whole lot. You're laughing. You mean, seriously, Wolves have got no European football. Tottenham, I don't even know what Tottenham are doing now. They're in the Europa League Cup. They're playing some team called Shishtim Titimvo from Macedonia. I'm not even watching it. Hello, guys. Hello, guys.
Yeah, I hear you.
So I have no idea what's going on with Tottenham at the minute over in Macedonia. They're meant to be playing a Europa League game. So
Liverpool are winning 6-2 this evening. They're playing, forget the name of them, some lower league team. They're winning 6-2. Minamino got a couple of goals. Doesn't make any odds. I like the team, Vinny. Really like the front three. Really like that you have Castagna on the bench with Justin. Very strong wild card. Only worry is if the Liverpool midfielders play hell, you'll be in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, that's my thing. Now, the thing, guys, Sterling is 5.5% owned. He is the biggest differential. Wow.
Yeah, I agree. He is, and he's playing basically up front.
Yeah. Now, obviously, Jesus is a big shout, but I love Ings. I love Jimenez, and I love Lewin. I just can't separate from them. So I love De Bruyne as well. I love Son. I just cannot change Rodriguez. I just can't. Listen, what will I do, boys, is that I will keep a couple of a quid in the bank, and I will probably exchange Sterling for Mane if I can keep 0.4 in the bank.
That's a good shout.
Yeah, because Liverpool have got Villa coming up soon, and they've got a few other. I like Liverpool. This seems to be an anti-Liverpool team, but for me, I love Liverpool, and I want to get Liverpool in there. Don't worry. Okay, listen, Mark and Aiden, can you show me anything?
Wins. I'm here alone. Adrian and Mark goes out.
Oh, so it's only me and you, Pavlo.
Yeah, I think that it's maybe some technical mistake because they come out at one moment.
Yeah, fine. Let me have a look.
Write to them.
Yeah, I will. I'll write to them. All right. I'll see if I can get them back in again.
When you plan to come to Lviv?
Well, at the moment there is a bit of worry about COVID. Have you heard about David Moyes and Cullen and Issa Diop in West Ham? They tested positive for coronavirus, and we've also had several non-league clubs and championship clubs that have tested positive for coronavirus. So there's a lot of worry about this stuff at the moment in Britain. I want to get back to Ukraine ASAP. As you know, I have family there in Ukraine, in Lviv. So I have a godson called Vladik, and dear friends. And I want to see Ivan and Yana. Obviously, they're going to get married next year. So, Ukraine, United Kingdom, and Ireland, for me, they're all the same. You understand, Pav?
Yes, I understand.
All the same.
But Ivan now living not in Lviv. He changed the city.
Okay, so where is he now?
Uzhhorod. It's near Hungary border.
Okay, Hungary. That's crazy, isn't it? Wow, Hungary. Right, I need to figure out where these guys have gone to. How do you do it?
And this fantasy Premier League, you are playing against other players. Yes.
Yes. Listen, Pavlo, can you see my screen at the moment?
Yes.
Right, Pav. This is the story about Fantasy League. This is official Premier League football game, and as you can see here, there's nearly 7 million players. I am at the moment 2 million in the world, but there's about nearly 7 million players that play this. Now, last year I came 47,000 in the world, which is pretty good.
Wow. Yes, it's so good.
Yeah, I organize a league here called the Christy Nicholson League. It's a pub back in Ballyhonus in Ireland, and I organized a league. And the guys that you're talking to now are from Ireland, and they're my good friends. And they play the game and the league. You pick 15 players, for under 100 million. And you select 11 of them to play every week. And it's only based on Premier League fixtures. The Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, doesn't matter. The only points you can score for your players is the Premier League games. Only 38 games a season. If your defender scores a goal, he gets 6 points. If your midfielder scores a goal, he gets 5 points. If your striker scores a goal, he gets 4 points. If your defender keeps a clean sheet, he gets 4 points. So the points, it's all about points, Pablo, you know. So at the end of the season, whoever gets the most points, if you get an assist, if one of your players gets an assist, he gets 3 points. No matter if it's a defender or a striker or a midfielder, it's 3 points no matter what. So if your player gets a red card, he gets -3 points. You know, there's if your defender concedes more than 2 goals, he gets -1 points. So like there's a problem if you pick players that concede a lot of goals, you don't want them. You don't want them, Pav. You want to just pick guys that keep clean sheets. So in Ukraine, this isn't really popular. This game, no.
Yeah, it's not popular. I think that our Premier League don't have official fantasy league.
Right, cool. I need to figure out where our friends are. Normally, you go into the Zoom chat
and
here.
Who win this fantasy league after season? What he have?
Well, what happened last season, Pavlo, is a guy from Bulgaria won the whole season last year, but the Premier League had a look at his Facebook account, and he had derogatory opinions about Raheem Sterling, and they decided that the Premier League decided that he would be disqualified from winning the league this year, the Premier League, official Premier League. So obviously I have no say in that. Nobody's got any say. So the guy that came second was Joshua Bull, and he came from England, I think Southampton somewhere. And he was like about 20 points behind Alexander from Bulgaria, but he won the league. So there is a lot of controversy over who won last season. Well, obviously, we don't condone racism, and we don't condone. Listen, Pavlo, you know yourself. If you have a good player playing for your team, you're not going to worry about race or age or anything, are you?
Yes, true. And every player have the same price, yes? before season?
Well, the price is determined by the Premier League. They decide which players have the price.
But and what about budget for every player?
100 million is the maximum budget for 15 players. So,
and you can change players after every game, yes?
Yes, of course.
Or you complete your team before season, just a transfer window.
Well, basically, you complete your team before the first game, and then you don't have any transfers on the first game week. But if you can have a maximum of 2 transfers every week. You can have, if you don't do a transfer this week, Pavlo, then you can do 2 transfers next week. But you can only have a maximum of 2 transfers. So basically what I can do here is I go into my transfer tab. Can you see this? Am I sharing the screen with you? So what I can do is I can transfer Raheem Sterling out and I get 11.5, and I can transfer Ings out, right? And so what I have is I've got 19.9 million to spend on whoever I want. So I can go into Sterling and I can say, well, I like Chelsea. I like Kia Havertz. I think he scored 3 goals the other day. I think he's going to absolutely take the Premier League by storm. So I just go down and I pick, where's Havertz there? 8.4 million is quite good. He was 8.5. So that means I've got 11.5 to spend on a striker. And I could just go and get in Harry Kane, you know?
How many he cost?
Harry Kane is about 10.5. Yeah, there you go.
But you change players depend of against team, yes? You're looking, for example, Tottenham plays against Newcastle, and you think that Harry Kane can score goals?
Listen, Pavlo, you're a football person. You understand football. Exactly. That's the reason. It's all about who you're playing next. It's about, can you avoid playing Liverpool or City or United, and make sure your players, like, look, I give you an example. Look at Timothy Castagna. After Man City on Saturday, I think he's got a good run. He's got West Ham, Villa. Now, Arsenal, 50-50. Leicester could beat Arsenal. Leeds, Wolves at home.
What does it mean FDR? What the last column is?
FDR is the index that the Premier League feel that Leicester, like Leicester versus City, that's a very difficult game for City. So they give them a code 5. Number 5 is the hardest rating for the Premier League. Number 1 is the easiest rating. 2 is quite easy. 3 is normal. And 4 is difficult. 5 is very, very difficult. So Leicester have a very difficult game away to Liverpool, which is a maximum 5. So I like Timothy Castagna's games there, you know, for the next, until November, you know. So that's what I go by, you know. You got Son. I like Son. If you go by his fixtures, you know, look at his fixtures, Pavlo. 2, 4, 2, 3, 2. So all I'm saying is that at the moment, I've got these guys in at the moment in my wild card because I feel that they can get me through most of November until December, where I will probably use another wild card. Now, I know you're not an expert, but you're a football man. Even you know that fixtures and teams are key to get momentum.
Yeah, I can tell you that Chelsea have next three matches so easy. The next tour will be against West Bromwich, after Crystal Palace and Southampton. I think that Chelsea can score a lot goals in these matches.
So you
can
think,
check it.
If you look at, I'm doing my wild card, so you think that West Brom away is going to be a lovely fixture for Chelsea, and Crystal Palace, Southampton. Look at the Chelsea fixtures there. Oh my God, Timo Werner. What's he going to do there, Pablo? He's going to...
I think he can score a lot.
Oh my God. You've convinced me. Oh my God. Look, Pavlo, I love my strikers. So maybe I should get Havertz in, or Timo is the most obvious pick, isn't he? Timo. Timo won't take.
How much does he cost?
Timo is 9.5 million, but Timo is not a regular penalty taker, because we've seen that Jorginho takes penalties, and he missed one as well the other day.
Do you saw yesterday match Chelsea against Barnsley at League Cup 6-0?
No, I heard. But Kia got 3 goals. He scored. He looks, oh my God. I know it's only Barnsley, but that can breed confidence into players. And okay, Havertz is going to be a legend, but where does that leave Tammy Abraham and Mason Mount and Hudson-Odoi and Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Timose? And I mean, you're the Chelsea man. I mean, do you think Timo Werner is going to be the guy to get in there? Definitely.
It's so hard to say, because if we are looking for first 2 games in Premier League, Timo Werner not the same Timo Werner what he was at Germany.
In Leipzig, yeah,
in Leipzig, yes, in Austria.
I got you. So that's really, you're saying it's still kind of tricky, to pick a Chelsea player. I feel the same as you. It's a great run. I think I've got to dabble with a Chelsea player, but although I like Danny Ings, I like Zaha, I think Chelsea will concede goals, but they may score a lot of goals. How do you feel about that, Pav?
I think that looking yesterday game, I can say you that Abraham looking was so good. He have a lot of items and score a goal. I think if Lampard believe in Abraham, he can score a lot for Chelsea. Havertz yesterday had 3 hits, was awesome, but the team Barnsley is not a level like for the next tourists will be West Bromwich. West Bromwich is more high level team than Barnsley.
Well, what I will say about West Bromwich is thank you for mentioning that, because I think Grady Diagama looks really interesting for West Bromwich. I think Pereira at free kicks looks interesting. I think West Brom can score attacking points, but I don't think they're going to keep many clean sheets, especially although Gibbs, he got sent off the other day. But West Brom could be a cheap option there if you want to fit in a Salah or a Mane in your team. So what do I want to do here? What I want to do here is see if any of the guys sent me any
If you're looking, Vince, if you're looking last 5 matches, now I'm looking for statistic. Chelsea won all last 5 matches against West Bromwich, and West Bromwich don't score any goal. 3-0, 4-0, 1-0, 1-0, and 2-0.
Yeah, I hear you. I definitely hear you, Pavlo. I'm considering.
Yeah.
This is Aidan Phillips' team. If I can come up here on the screen, for everybody at home, this is Aidan Phillips. Aidan Phillips got 23-13 points last season, which is 13 points above me of where I won. He's gone for Saiss, Van Dijk, Robertson, De Bruyne, Son, Salah, Rodriguez. That's a very strong team, isn't it there, Pavlo? Mitrovic, Jimenez.
Mm-hmm. Whose team is it?
One of the guys you were speaking to earlier on, Aidan Phillips. He's gone really heavy on Liverpool. Obviously, he likes De Bruyne and Son. I like James Rodriguez. Podence is doing bits and pieces. Raul Jimenez. It's quite a strong team there. But I fancy Arsenal.
Vince, is something depending for formation? What you choose or not?
Yeah, you can choose a 3-5-2 or a 4-4-2 or a 3-4-3. There's only 3 formations.
Mm-hmm.
So a 3-4-3, yeah.
Which different against these schemes for you?
Yeah.
In this game?
All I'm saying
because for example, if you have 3-5-2, you can bought more midfielder, yes?
Yeah, exactly.
And it depends which type of player you can bought, yes, and put in first 11. Are you looking Super Cup UEFA? Bayern Sevilla?
Yeah. Well, Sevilla won that. Yeah, that's where Reguilon from Spurs came from. He won the Europa Cup with Sevilla recently. That's another guy that I want to look at to see. Maybe he'll play more at left back instead of Davis for Tottenham. He could be really, really. Apparently, apart from Bale, he could be the big buy for Tottenham. Is Reguilon, Sergio Reguilon, going from Real Madrid to Tottenham? That could be the big deal for Tottenham, because they're going to wait for Bale to get match fit.
Yeah, Bale is legend of Tottenham, I think.
Yeah, well, he's a legend of Madrid, but they don't respect him for that. Listen, Pavlo, thank you very much for holding the fort for me tonight. I only messaged you probably a few minutes before I was going to start this Zoomcast, episode 7 of Top Dogs. So I appreciate very much. Thanks, Pavlo.
Thank you, Vince, for invitation. And if you want to invite me to the next Zoom meeting, I will be so happy. Nice to hear you, nice to see you, and have a good night.
Yeah, and you're not the only Chelsea fan. We have Shane, the face, Luigi Healy, and he's massive Chelsea. So you are in good company. You're in good company.
Good. Thanks, Vince. Bye.
And listen, before you go, are you excited for the Premier League next Saturday?
Next what?